With Lululemon, the real gift happens when they're living in it. When you give the fan favorite everywhere belt bag, the real gift is... And when the ultra-soothing Rest Feel slides are the gift, you're really giving them... This holiday, Lululemon makes it easy to give little luxuries that go beyond. Open the moment. Shop now at Lululemon.com.
Regen auf mein Kopf. Hinter der Deckelbus ist die kleine Fahrt im Top. Geht mir kein Sach mit.
Hey everyone, welcome to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold. I am your host, Judy Gold, and guess what, everyone? Yes, I'm gonna rant today at some point, but I'm gonna do it with my fabulous guest, who's beyond genius. Has a new album out that, ow, fuck this shit. I just spilled coffee all over my fucking, okay. Now I gotta go get shit. Here's fuck. Okay. God damn it. God damn fucking shit. God fucking damn fuck cunt. Shit. Fuck. I just found more coffee. So it's under my magic. First of all, let me just say something about my magic fucking keyboard. I bought this magic keyboard because, you know, I have a Mac. Okay. That you have that fingerprint thing, that fingerprint, so you can get on with the fingerprint, right?
Yeah.
So I got the keyboard,
right,
that is full of coffee.
Mm-hmm. That's how it comes.
Yeah. I got the Joe keyboard. Anyway, so, and it has the thing, you know, where you're supposed to put your finger, not when it has a Band-Aid. But then, so I buy it, it's extra money. And it doesn't work with this particular Mac. Like, you have to have a certain, oh my God, I found more coffee. Anyway, so let me finish my intro. So Liz Glazer has a new album out that everyone, it just came out on Friday, May 12th.
Yep.
It's called A Very Particular Experience. And it is about, your life. And, you know, right now your wife, who's a rabbi, this is, by the way, I'm just warning, there'll be a lot of Jew bell ringing today. I know Laura Vogel, my producer's mother, is not a fan of the Jew bell, and I'm going to have to say too fucking bad. Okay. So, so it's, the album is about the fact that you and your wife, who, as I mentioned, is a rabbi. She's a rabbi, and she is a rabbi, and had a stillborn baby. Which, you know, and if you're talking about comedy, a dead infant is where you go. I mean,
I think, that's what you would want, I think.
Right. If you're like, oh, I want to laugh today. Oh, God, I found more coffee. I want to laugh today because my family just died in a plane crash. Let's put on Liz Glazer's album about but you know what, it's so beautiful that you do that, because that's what comedy is all about.
Well, I mean, and I like to say this, which is like, it really does come out of the experience. I know you know this, but like, it's not an album where I'm like, hey, here's some hacky stillbirth jokes and baby jokes. It's very much like, this happened, I do lean into the seriousness and the gravity of the situation. And then, you know, this is what we do, as I think you were saying, is you make comedy from it. Because the thing is, when that happened to us, which is obviously a horrific experience, I and Karen, my wife, the rabbi, were like, are we ever, gonna laugh again? Are we ever gonna laugh?
Right. Do you get to those points in your life where you think, will I ever laugh again?
Correct. And, you know, so that's really like where the album starts, is because I recorded it on the year anniversary of the stillbirth. of our daughter Leo Pearl. And so it was like, okay, this day is going to happen no matter what. It's going to suck. Why not make something positive and creative and like have, you know, everybody wants to come together anyway to like memorialize.
Right.
So why not do something positive? And so I think the tone of that is achieved on the album because it's not like at all distasteful. I think, you know,
well,
I feel
you
like
know, first of all, the greatest comedy comes from pain.
yeah.
And, you know, it's so funny. I was at the Cellar last night and we were talking because Artie Fuqua, who is a great comic, I've known him forever. His son died playing basketball and it was the anniversary. And he posted something and I saw him last night. I said, I mean, there's nothing that compares to losing a child. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thank God. Thank God.
Right.
Poo, 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 poo.
Yeah. Not been justing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you get it. It's just, and I thanked it. I said, you know, thanks for the post. It was amazing. And, you know, we started talking about that, you know, and my mother, I said this in my show, and if we weren't laughing, we'd be crying. And that is the history of the Jews, the history, I think, of the Black people. I think it's, but the Jews have, I don't know why I hit the thing for Black people, but there are Ethiopian Jews. I feel very, I mean, I'm not Black at all, but I feel, I just feel simpatico or simpatica.
Oh, totally.
With people of color, but because you know, it's not like I can walk down the street and someone would say, well, that's not true. Someone would not know I was Jewish, but you know, I just don't know what it's like to be a person. Like, that's it. You can't, you know, hide who you are. Anyway.
Yeah.
It is so true. And comics, people don't realize that we go there no matter what. No matter what the situation is. Yeah. You know, you go to a comic's funeral, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
totally.
Yeah. But so you're a true comic. But we have to talk, Liz. Your life is fucking ridiculous. Okay. Now, this fucking stand is driving me crazy. I just bought it. And it doesn't stay. It's the true.
I think just splash
blue.
some coffee on it.
Yeah. Fuck you. And look at my coffee mug. Because we're both from New Jersey.
Oh,
Coffee. CAWFEE. Because that's how we talk it. What part of New Jersey are you from?
So I'm from Bergen County.
Right.
Like Fort Lee.
Why does everyone say the county? Like, I'm from New Jersey, and I never say the county. I don't say I'm from Union County.
Got it. Well, I can tell you why I do. I can't speak for the whole state. So,
but everyone from Bergen County says I'm from Bergen County and doesn't say the name.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right. I believe you. But like, the reason I say it is because now I live in Essex County. So it's the county.
Oh. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Not. Okay.
I mean, I felt like that was going to be the main thing I throw down here. Yeah. It's just that interesting point.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So
it is.
Here's what I find. I mean, I find a lot of things about you fascinating. This is very important. All four of your grandparents were Holocaust survivors. Your mother was born in a displaced persons camp.
Fact.
Which is probably the reason why you are able to take the most horrific and painful experiences and make jokes, you know, and it's because it's a salve. It's a coping mechanism. Go ahead. Sorry.
100%. Yeah. I think that's right. I mean, my parents, my dad is no longer alive, but like, he was funny. My mother's hilarious, but like, I don't think that they were going to be comics, you know, like that just, I don't think was in their like consciousness of what one was going to do. Also, I think the way that Holocaust trauma trickles is like, my parents were like, just don't be on the front page of the newspaper.
Right.
Stay low, right? Because that's the way, because they're like, listen, you know, we had fine neighbors growing up. You would have thought, based on how my parents reacted, that they were Nazis. Because it's like,
same. Yeah.
to anyone. You know, now I live on a block and we have the block party. My parents would be like horrified that I even speak to these people, you know, nicest people, of course.
Right.
But like, I think that's, you know,
that's trauma.
Yeah, I think so. And like my generation and version of it is like, listen, why did they survive and go through all that if I'm not going to be loud about being Jewish, et cetera? Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because, you know, we loved our neighbors growing up. But there was this constant being told that everyone hates us.
Right.
And, you know, do you think they're going to hide you? Like it's, you know, my sister-in-law, Panina, when she moved to Arizona, she asked her, it was like the first thing she asked her neighbor, would you, you know, and people think it's hilarious, and it is in a way, but it isn't. It's like, it's a reality. I
love that part of your show.
Oh, thanks.
I was really dying laughing at that part of your show specific. I mean, your show is amazing.
Oh, Liz, come on. I got to send you a check, but,
it really is.
Thanks. We're going to tour it.
Good.
I want to know your mother, Toby, and of course your father dies right before you're supposed to get married. You have to postpone your wedding. But your mother, Toby, first of all, did your grandparents talk about their experiences?
So my grandmother on my mom's side was the only talker, and she died when I was 4. So I remember, is that for 4 for dying?
No, but it's my mom on the, I forgot, it was a delayed.
So I remember her babysitting me when I was really little, and she was telling me some stories. I can't exactly remember.
You just said, I remember babysitting her.
She was babysitting me. Oh yeah. Well, whatever. That's yeah. And then she dies and nobody talks. Like my grandmother, you know, on my mom's side, like just, you know, we didn't really have a relationship with him after.
Right.
And then the other side, so my dad was Latvian. And so he went from Riga to, get ready, Israel. Okay.
Yeah.
He's in Israel 6 months. This is like, you know, 30 something, whatever years ago. And I guess he was in a movie in Israel. I've tried to figure out the details of that. Really good looking guy.
Right.
Okay. Like yes, towards the end, but towards the end of his life, he looked like he was a good looking guy.
Right.
He was a really good looking guy when he was younger, was in a movie in Israel, and was in an ulpan and whatever you do when you first get there as a refugee. And then the rest of his family stays and they're still there. He's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I hate it. I'm going to New York with my best friend Yasha, who still, you know, lived 5 minutes from us, whatever. And so anyway, so there was always a language barrier and the distance because they were all in Israel.
Right.
And so so I don't have like stories
but you do have, you know, there's that 2G, which is the children of Holocaust survivors who have such trauma. I mean, this trauma goes from generation to generation. I mean, that's why we have a sense of humor, because we have been traumatized, even though everyone fucking hates us now, and always has, but now they're more vocal about it. We are funny because we have had no choice. I keep looking up here because there's a book I have called It Kept Us Alive, and it's about humor in the Holocaust. It's a very, I'm just going to do a few rings so I don't have to do them. It's a very, it's a book about humor in the Holocaust and how they laughed every day, and it was the only thing that made them feel like human beings. And, you know, that is our coping mechanism, and that's our default. Does your mother, Toby, talk about the increase in anti-Semitism today at all, and her fears?
All of my mother, Toby, talks about her fears.
I gotta get her on the podcast. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, she, you know, like since my dad died, I think she's just a little more afraid and concave.
My father died in 1990. And, you know, you realize your mother then turns into a person, you know, and not a mother. It's like you see her weaknesses and her vulnerability. And it's like, no, I don't want to see that. I want you to be this almighty Jewish, matriarch. Yeah. But your father died unexpectedly. How did that happen?
Well, I mean, it was unexpected and also not. So he died during the pandemic, but not of COVID, which is the no homo of dying during the pandemic. And he had heart disease for my whole life. Like he had his first heart attack. I think he was 33.
Wow.
And he lived till 73 because of modern medicine. And
my father lived till 74. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And he died of a heart attack swimming. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and also, I mean, modern medicine and my mother taking like obsessive care of him, for his whole life. So, and
you better get your heart checked out.
I know. Well, I have my primary care physician is a nut and I love her.
I thought you were going to say my primary care physician is a nun. Okay, go ahead.
She's definitely not a nun. She's the wife of the cantor emeritus.
Oh my God. This is the Jewiest Jew of Jew podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So she's amazing. Her name is Nancy Simpkins. And I say that because she's verified on Instagram and she's a really good doctor. And we are so, in sync because I can text her being like, hey, Nancy, I'm nervous about this. And she's like up on all of it. So she's like a really.
Oh, so you have like this direct.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, I have a friend who's a retired doctor, and that's what I now call her my concierge doctor because she doesn't practice anymore, but she's I can call her about anything. Yeah,
sure. Well, I mean, Nancy's great if you need a doctor.
I have a nice Jewish doctor, also a female, but Esti Pavlunas, I love her at NYU. Lango.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself. You can process and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it and you sit there and you wait. And then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to BetterHelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is Gratitude Month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome.
So your father died, your mother's, you see, it's so weird when you see them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't want to know this about you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The shit that she would say to your father, she would now say to you. That's,
Well, yeah. Well, I'm on the phone with my mother all the time. Which I think is also a Holocaust thing.
Well, same, but yeah, go ahead.
Right? No. But what were you going to say?
No, I'm saying I talk to my mother multiple times a day, and I talk to my kids multiple times a day.
Right. And I have this story actually on the album. So I'm not like trying to like do it or whatever, but I once met, this is true, at a crafts fair where I was helping out my friends' aunts, whatever. And like there was this woman who had Holocaust art. Okay, so it was like, you know, a menorah, but it looks like jail, and like mezuzah, that look like barbed wire and whatever. And so I'm talking to the Holocaust artist, and she's like, how many times do you call your mother a day? And I was like, the fact that we're not on the phone right now is the notable detail. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm on, it's like, you know, she's probably calling me right now. Right?
Hi, Tobola.
And I love that. Yeah, totally. And so, you know, I call her on the way to shows. I call her on the way back from shows. Right. And so but I know what you're saying about, you know, it's the daily download of what did you eat?
Oh, always. What did you eat? What are you going to eat?
Yeah. And it's like, how was the restaurant that you went with your bereavement group?
Right.
Bad. Okay. What was bad? Well, I ordered the wrong thing. Right. Okay. Well, Annette ordered the salad. Right. I should have ordered this. Okay, so next time, you know, and I know. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's the same conversation. The fact that you were at a crafts fair, couldn't say lesbian more. So, okay. No. So you have 4, do you have any siblings?
I have a brother.
Right, that's right. And what does he do?
He sells like big... for sales. He sells computer stuff like big servers and stuff like that. Yeah.
But you're the queen.
Well, I mean,
okay.
It's okay.
Just like, okay. So now for the listeners, going to give you a little information about Elizabeth Glazer, comedian / Esquire. That's right, people. Yeah. Liz Glazer, if you don't know, she got a BA, magna cum laude, and a master's within 4 years in philosophy at the University of Pennsylvania, which would be an Ivy League school. So she got 2 degrees in 4 years and graduated magna cum laude. Okay.
Thank you. My dad would be very happy.
Yes. No, we're doing this. We're doing this whole thing.
Fine. Also, my brother went to Dartmouth, so I'm just
okay. Your brother's smart too. Okay, great. We don't give a shit about what's his name. Victor. That's not a Jewish name.
My parents were like going for kind of English royalty-ish type. Yeah. So I don't know. Honestly, so my mother is Toby. But her given name was Teresa.
What?
Because my grandparents didn't want the people around them to know. And so I think that some of that also trickled to my parents. They're like, you'll have Hebrew names, you know, your Chava, Miriam, whatever. But then no bell for Chava, Miriam?
No, I was getting my hand over there. God.
So anyway, but then.
Okay, and what was your father's name?
Leon.
Oh, I like that. So you're going to do it. Are you going to do an L for the new baby?
Well, so the baby that our first daughter who was stillborn was Leo Pearl.
Right. Oh, such a beautiful name.
Yeah. Thanks. And so we have some options.
Right.
I mean, you know, the list of dead relatives.
Yeah. Like you got it. Yeah. Okay. Wait, we're still on you. So you get the 2 degrees at Penn and, you know, not even like, just a regular, like, and by the way, my mother, God rest her soul, whenever someone was an idiot, like, or did something ridiculous, she would say, well, you know, magna cum laude. Like that, she was so sarcastic. Or Phi Beta Kappa. Well, you know, she's 100%. Phi Beta. But
I remember my dad was driving some people from school. It was like senior year of high school.
Right.
And we're driving like the yearbook. I was on the yearbook, right? And so there's this girl in the back and she got into Harvard. Okay. Right. And my dad, of course, knows where everybody gets in.
Right.
All that data. And she's getting out of the car. She can't figure out the door handle. Gets finally out of the car. It did take a while, honestly. I was like a little bit like, what's her problem?
Right.
And so then
but she got into Harvard. She can't find the door handle.
My dad's like, Harvard takes her. You know, because he thought that I should get into Harvard. And I didn't, whatever. But
okay,
anyway.
Penn's fine. So you go to University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned, magna cum. And then you go to the University of Chicago Law School, one of the finest law schools in the country, where you were on the law review.
Yeah.
And you graduate and you become a lawyer, transactional real estate law, real estate law. Hey, now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what they
By the way,
Yeah.
I think this will make you happy because I know you hate the monster, right?
Yeah.
But the first day of getting into this firm, and this was like when he was obviously not president.
We're talking about
like
orange fuckface, by the way.
Yeah. When he was a real estate person, first day at where I worked, okay, which, another firm, whatever. And I'm very close to the firm. I'm still friends with them. I do stand up for that. Like, I'm very good relationship.
I hope they pay you. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
yeah, for sure. They're wonderful. And so I get to work and they're like, one thing, we do not represent Donald Trump. They said that
them.
like
I love
literal
them.
person. Yeah.
And that was what, 2002, 2004?
2004. Yeah.
Fucking. Okay. Then you became a tenured professor at Hofstra.
Yeah.
But you visited other law schools like Loyola in Ohio and Chicago, whatever the fuck it's called. And also Northwestern. Oh yeah, I have Loyola Chicago right here. And taught law and sexuality and trans rights at Northwestern.
Yep.
And you're a comic. Now, here's the deal.
Okay.
This is a question I wanted to ask you. Were your parents more upset when you came out to them or when you said you were going to be a stand-up comedian?
I think it was a similar thing. And when I do jokes in certain orders, there's like a callback to, because when I first said I was going to be a law professor, my mother was like, what are you going to do for money? And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I could prostitute and whatever. I have this whole thing.
Oh
about
yeah.
that
That's on your album. I heard that. Yeah.
And then later, this isn't the order on the album, but like sometimes if I say later that I was gay, oh, my parents were upset. My mother was like, couldn't you just be a prostitute, as a callback?
Right. Oh, So you, what age did you come out to them?
Not until I was 21 or 2.
Okay. Really? And did they act surprised?
Yeah, they did.
Were you?
I mean.
Okay. Go ahead.
So yes, they were surprised. So, okay. I grew up my brother is trans and initially came out as a lesbian. And that was the inciting incident to my coming out as a lesbian. The fact that there's sirens in the background is 100% because I'm like, oh my God, should I be saying this? Because I still have in me the mindset of like, these are family secrets.
But that's a whole Jew thing. Right. And also I live right off of Amsterdam Avenue. It's constant that it's the fucking freeway to the fucking hospitals. It's all the time. Okay.
But I'm just saying, right.
But you're a Jew, so you think like God's saying, don't talk about the trans and the lesbian.
Right. Well, I say this because it's integral to my coming out story. Right. So basically, my parents were very upset about my brother.
When did your brother come out?
Before me. And so he was like 14 or something like that, like younger.
And is he older than you?
No.
Okay. You're the okay. So he comes out 14 as a lesbian?
Right.
Okay.
And my parents were really upset about it. And my mother at the time, and she's really like worked through a lot, but she was saying to me, she's like, listen, we should get a therapist for Vic. There's this like Orthodox woman who at the time was like anti-DSM. Right. Also, but she's working out of the Upper West Side and she'll like convert you back or whatever. And I obviously thought that was insane. And I wanted to just say that I thought it was a bad idea. And I was like making the case kind of, not that I was a lawyer at the time, but kind of like on the basis of reasons.
Right.
And it just wasn't getting through. And then that was how I said to my mom, I'm gay.
Okay. So what's the age difference?
4.5 years.
Okay. So when your brother comes out, you know you're a lesbian. do you think like, oh, fuck. Now,
Yes,
and did you know your brother was a lessee? Did you guys talk about it? And I said guys, and I don't fucking care. Okay?
Yeah, right. I understand. And I also, on that one, in terms of the stuff you can't say, I can appreciate that if I am speaking to I have friends who are trans,
Right.
obviously, and like, I'm not gonna, I remember I had a friend who was a trans woman, and I think I said like something like, I said the word dude in like a dude, whatever, that kind of thing.
It's just like,
yeah, but I mean, I appreciate your point about it. And also I was like, oh, I can be more sensitive. But guys,
right.
to me, I'm just like,
guys
what?
is such a general term. And
I
it's
think
like,
so,
look, people,
yeah.
I'm on your side, you know?
Yeah.
And this is part of my vernacular. Like, you can't change my intent. My intent is to fight for your rights. It's not to make you feel like, you know me. It's not coming out in that way. It means absolutely nothing. And this constant and no one can, no, when it's coming out, when it's being used the wrong way. So
so we guys, and in this context, it's fine because my brother's a guy.
Right.
And so and I definitely don't care. I mean, call me
I don't care.
literally whatever you want. But I can appreciate that for some people it sets off a button.
Totally, but it's like, it's consider the source. So your brother comes out at 14 and you're almost 19 at this time?
That's
your mother's freaking out. Little does she know there's more coming, Toby.
I know. And I'm sure for her, it's like, such a traumatic moment. It seemed like it.
So, I mean, God bless your brother. I mean, what a bold move. Okay.
Well, my brother is an amazing guy, he's very bold.
Well, he went to Dartmouth and he sells big computer things.
It's true. No, he's really successful. He's really amazing. And he was really certain about like his direction in life. Right. And I think set the path for me, for sure, of like kind of upending our parents' expectations of us and things like that. And so, but I felt really guilty because I was like, oh my God, did I do this somehow? Because I'm the oldest.
Right.
So
you felt guilty? That's so weird as a Jew. Okay. Yeah. So do you go to the family therapist?
Yeah.
You go to the family.
We went.
And your dad goes too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We all went.
And how's he dealing with this?
Not good, but he was a screamer, but not a talker. I've never said it that way, but that's accurate. Like he knew how to yell and explode, but I don't think he knew how to, reason and process and whatever. So in my memory, which was most of my memories of my dad in a room where he wasn't like yelling or he was driving, like he knew how to do those things, but he probably was just like slumped over, like, when is this going to be over kind of thing, but I also went to, in addition to the Upper West Side therapist, who I hope is not practicing anymore, or at least not in that way. There was also this organization called Jonah, Jews Offering New Alternatives to Homosexuality, which I think was also like brought down as it should have been. And there was this woman.
Was it like conversion therapy?
Yeah. And
Fuck
so
that shit.
It was this lady in Haworth, New Jersey, near where we lived. Looks like the biggest lesbian I've ever met in my life, of course.
Oh, always.
And so she, had me and my mom, because I agreed to go over to her house to explain how she had a gay son and now he's not gay anymore. And isn't this the best alternative to homosexuality and whatever?
And she's a big dyke, the mother. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, yes, So, and that went on, I don't know. I mean, my mom got into therapy and, has become okay with it. She comes to my shows. She knows me, she knows Karen. She was at our wedding. You know what I mean? So like, and Vix also, Vix getting married.
Oh, mazel.
Gift the remarkable with Marc Jacobs fragrances this holiday season. From the iconic Daisy and Perfect to the all-new Daisy Wild, Marc Jacobs perfume gift sets include everything she needs to feel special. From her favorite fragrance, plus the matching travel spray, holiday gifts don't get much more perfect than this. So if you're looking for a gift inspiration these holidays, gift the remarkable with Marc Jacobs.
So I have so many questions. When and by the way, I have something I have to say that totally fits into this story about myself, me. But when I was 11, and my Hebrew school class came in to march in the Israeli Day Parade.
Sure.
I bet it was Jonah. But I remember walking down Fifth Avenue, and on the corner was this woman with a sign that said, "My son was a homosexual. Now he's not. Call blank, blank, blank." And there was a number.
It's probably this woman,
right? And this is how I knew I was gay. I said to myself, "Oh, I should probably write that number down." And that was like the first time I admitted to myself,
wow,
that was what it was, because I knew since I was 2, 3, whatever.
Right, right.
But that's so weird. I bet it was the woman. I bet it was the woman with the fucking sign.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, my God, Liz, we are beshared. This is meant to be. Okay.
I think so too. At first, when you said, "Oh, I was going to take the number down," I laughed because I thought you were going to say to like prank call.
No.
Because I'm thinking you're you now. But it's interesting to think that we were 11 and, wrestling with this in some way.
You know there's something different. You don't know what it is till you start going through puberty, but you're like, it's a secret. That's the thing that gets me, is that, now there are kids who are able to say, "I don't feel right in my body," or I like girls, or I like boys, or I'm not a boy or a girl. Like now they can express it, but we were, and there was no representation either. So, all these people who are like, "Well, what's going on?" And I'm like, it's because we have discourse now. That's what's going on, that people can actually express themselves. Okay. So when does your brother come out? Does he come out as trans after you come out to your parents as a leslie?
Yeah.
So you come out 2 years later.
Yeah.
And was that, can we do a scene from that? Okay. I'll be your mother.
Yeah.
Or I'll be you. I'll be you.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can do Toby. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. What do you want, Elizabeth? What do you want?
Wait, I thought I was doing Toby.
Oh, right. You're Toby.
We're two Tobys. Well, my mom was like,
can I talk to you and Daddy, please? Oh, by the way, I call my mother Mommy too. I mean, my mother's dead.
Oh, yeah.
But we still, even my brother and sister were like Mommy, Daddy all the time.
Can I?
And Granny. My grandmother was Granny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
My brother's now on a kick where he's calling her mom, and I respect it.
Oh, it's so weird. It's
hilarious.
Weird. Yes.
Because he'll just be like, so, tomorrow's Mother's Day. And so he's like, "Oh, so we're going to celebrate Mom." And I'm like, who?
I know. My brother does that too. It's Mom's your site. I go, "No, it's Mommy's your site. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Daddy's your site. It's Dad."
Yeah.
I'm like, just because you're like a 65-year-old guy doesn't mean you don't call them Mommy and Daddy anymore.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I know. But I do respect it.
My kids, when your child is born, did you pick name? Like, I'm Mommy and my ex Sharon is Mama. And my kids still call me Mommy. And they're straight fucking dudes.
Right. Yeah. I've met them.
Yeah.
Because they were at Stand Up New York, I think. Yeah. So beautiful children.
Oh, thanks. They're such great kids.
Totally. Yeah, they've seen it.
Wait, so what are you going to be and what's Karen going to be?
I imagine I'll be Mommy. Karen, you can have the bell for this one. I believe will be Ema.
Okay, we were going to do that, but no. Okay.
Well, we'll see what happens also. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, all right, let's go back to this fascinating story.
Okay.
So, all right. So, Mom, Dad, I need to talk to you.
Well, no, because it was me and my mom in a car.
Oh, okay.
And also it's my mom, not my mommy, right?
Right.
Because isn't that interesting?
My mother, but
Right.
Okay,
Well, the other
is who's
thing for
driving
me-
in the car?
I was driving.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
I got to be Toby in this. I have to be Toby.
Fine.
Liz,
So you have to argue that Vic needs to go to the therapist.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, Elizabeth, I really don't like the way you drive. So that's number one. And I was thinking, oh my God, there's a car. Wait, can you slow down? That Vic, I think he needs to go see someone. He really needs to see someone.
I don't think that. I think that that's
Put your
wrong.
hands on the wheel.
I think that that's wrong, and I think it's crazy, and I'm gay. Except I was crying.
Right.
Okay?
Okay, so
basically that was what happened.
Oh
It was
my
like,
God! Pull over! Pull over! Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why
Except
she's having my mother's accent, but yeah.
I feel like my mom goes kind of more sad than
all right.
angry,
I'm gonna do it.
yelling.
All right, I'm gonna do it. Elizabeth.
Okay. Yeah.
The way you're driving right now is making me very nervous.
I'm really sorry. I'm
just watch the road. Just watch the road because it's not you. It's the other drivers.
Okay. All right.
I really think Vic needs to go to see a therapist.
Okay. Well, then I need to also because I'm gay.
Oh my God.
Was it something I did?
Was it something I did? Did I say something? What did I do wrong? Why is this happening to me? Me.
No,
Why?
it's not. It's not you. Okay.
It must be me because it's Victor. It's you. It's everyone. What did I do? What did I do to deserve this?
It's
God,
not
why
about
me?
you.
Why me? Why
It's not
me?
about
Why
you.
me? Why?
Yeah. And
Right.
so then that goes on for like, I don't know, a few months and then also years in certain ways where they're not into meeting anybody. Then I feel like I've heard someone talk about this, that it's like you have to come out like 100 times. Because then really the thing is they like, forget, or not that they really do.
Yeah.
But
And when you have kids, like I say this all the time, my good friend of mine, her daughter now is trans. And, when she told me, I was like, oh, mazel tov, because, thank God this person can be who she is. And I 100%. Said, but you have to realize that you're going to have to come out all the time because people are going to assume things. And I said, and that's, I don't know why I'm pressing the bell, but, my kids, they, especially Ben, who plays college basketball. It's like, I have two moms. Your children have to come out and change the world and never shy away from it. So you're a lesi. And then when does Victor come out as trans?
I mean, I remember having conversations about his transition around 2011, but I get the sense, and I also sort of know, but not 100%, that was like more of an always, of course, right? A dysphoric identity. Yeah. But I don't know all the details because like that's in his personal experience, like literally, And so, and that's the thing with like, trans identity is like, it's not a moment of transition. It's like an always thing and a process thing and et cetera. So, but yeah, we started having conversations around that time. The thing that was awkward about it, and awkward is like an understatement. Like my brother and I, we laugh harder together than anybody could ever laugh together. You know what I mean? Like he's the funny. I mean, some of the best, like just devastating punchlines I've ever had in my act are because of something that Vic said. And I'm like, what? Like, whoa. And he's amazing. He's so funny. He's so smart. And I think because of the proximity of our experiences and the not like overlappingness of them, that there has been tension, because the other part of it is that we fight, that has arisen because, for example, I remember like, how old was I? 30-ish, like 28, 30, something like that. And I was like, oh my God, I found a suit. Because I, as a, butch lesbian, I'm always trying to find the best tuxedo, suit, whatever, like the best fit that actually doesn't look like I'm wearing my dad's clothes and whatever it was. And I found this like gay man store basically that happened to have a size that, fit me really well. So I'm telling Vic because I'm so excited about that. And he gets so mad at me because he's like, fuck you that you're like this excited about like, something that brings me terrible dysphoria and I can't, be comfortable at all in my body and in clothes at the time. And I think, it was, so we've had, that specifically is a moment that sticks out for me, but also I get his side of it because it's like, what the hell?
Right. It's so much easier for you than it is for me. Yeah.
Correct. And I think that he's right about that. And I was just,
But you weren't, you had no bad intention. You were just being benign and it triggered him. But yeah. I love that because, as you know, I snuck home from school to put on my father's clothes all the time when I was a kid. And, and then I really was I was very conforming. And now I'm done. I'm not wearing women's shoes. I'm done. I hate it. Oh, thank you, Liz. Yeah. I'm done. Yeah, I'm so sorry it took so long, but I wear suits. I wore a suit to my niece's wedding. I'm done. I wore a suit to the White House correspondent. I'm done. Done. I don't like dresses. I don't like skirts. I like suits. Fucking done.
What I love is I do drag in Superfemme, and I do love that. I wouldn't have expected that was.
Yeah, but God, that's funny.
It's so fun. And actually, my brother so we went to see Celine Dion in Vegas together. Right. And it was like the best time. And I was like, do you want to, like, he dresses, now not that he wasn't a good dresser before, but like the end of the suit story is he's found lots of suits. Right. If anybody is, curious, like he has a great wardrobe. He looks fantastic. And so anyway, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if I brought my wig and I wear my grandmother on my mom's side has these two dresses that she wore to my mom's wedding and my aunt's first wedding. Okay. And they are wedding dresses. Like it's like a white Liberace.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
It's so funny. And I guess that's the thing. If you survive the Holocaust, you get to wear a white, loud as can be dress to your daughter's wedding. It's so insane. But anyway, and my mother, like a few years ago, was like, oh, I'm going to like give them to Goodwill. I'm like, you absolutely are not taking these. And they're gorgeous dresses. The intricacy, you know what I mean? But I was like, oh, I bet I could find a wig, and I go to Sephora and I get all made up. You would not recognize me at all.
Hilarious.
And I did. The last time I did it was like last summer, I think it was. And I was doing a drag stand-up show. And the woman who booked me, I was like, hey, I'm a woman. I identify as such. But like, if I do man drag, it's just going to be me and a mustache, whatever. I was like, do you care? Like, I just wanted to ask because I'm not trying to break the rules. She's like, oh yeah, that's cool. I walk in, nobody recognizes me.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny. And like Karen is always like she thinks it's funny, right? But I throw on such a personality.
See, that's drag. That's real drag.
It's because I'm just
and it's killing children. It's killing children.
Right.
You probably really destroyed some kids' lives by dressing as your grandmother.
Totally,
yeah.
Totally.
Oh, I love that for you. Do you have a name of your drag? Do you have a drag name?
The last time, because it was a show, I just went with Mommy. That was the drag name.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway, but she's a trip. She's like a real housewife. That's kind of the personality.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. I'm going to surprise you.
Okay. Okay.
You won't know.
I bet I will. No, I probably won't.
You won't. Unless you've seen her.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of Kill Me Now with my guest, the multiple, degrees. She has multiple degrees. She's fucking brilliant. She's hilarious. what more can you ask for? This was part one. Part two, we get into some kind of controversial topics, which I enjoy, as you know. But I really enjoyed having a guest this week, especially one as smart as Liz Glazer, Esquire. I hope everyone's doing well and everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day. I am still hating on CNN. I'm really fucking pissed off about that and so many other things. I appreciate you and thank you so much for listening. Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel. It is edited by Colin Schmaling and marketed and everything else besides the interview is done with the aid and care of Brittany Jo Sowards. Richmond. But if you have not left a review or subscribed to this podcast, what the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously, I need you to subscribe and leave like a 5-star fucking great review and write something about how much you fucking love this podcast. FYI, we have some changes coming that you're going to really enjoy. Please, I love doing this, but I'm losing money and I need your support for that. So get fucking subscribe and tell all your friends about it and, leave me a nice review and then follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that shit. Even though Twitter's done. I think Twitter's done. At Judy Gold, JEWDYGOLD. Let me see what dates I have coming up. I have some dates coming up. I'm going to Israel. I'm going to Israel on the 29th with A Wider Bridge, which is a great organization. But in the meantime, when I get back from Israel, please come see me. I'm going to be hosting Out Montclair, New Jersey Pride on June 10th. And on June 22nd, I am at the Gordon Center for the Performing Arts in Owings Mills, Maryland. Gordon Center for Performing Arts. It's in Maryland. I need you to get your asses there. June 22nd, it's going to be a great show. And then I'm in P-Town all summer at the Post Office Cabaret, and I'll be going to the Montreal Comedy Festival. So plenty of places to see me in person, and I need you to do that, okay? So again, thank you so much for listening. I love all of you. I love people who listen to the end. Oh, wait, I took some photos of people who listen to the end. Let's see, is this one? Beth Melnick. I love you, Beth. Twin Mom 19. She loves my podcast. I say out loud so much of what she is speaking. Okay, so I'm here to say what you can't say. Maybe you can't say it because of your job or because you're a normal human being. But yeah, so I want to thank Beth Melnick. Okay, Beth Melnick. Christine, I don't know. I don't have a last name, but thank you to Christine. Also, I wanted to let you know that Jon Stewart on Twitter posted the greatest thing about the CNN thing, and I posted it on my stories on Instagram, which probably won't even be there when you listen to this, but I just want to read this. The problem with the Trump town hall wasn't platforming or a fragile siloed audience. This is in response to the Anderson Cooper thing. Or a fragile siloed audience unable to be exposed to newsworthy opinions antithetical to their own. The problem was an event that was clearly negotiated to Trump's approval, an ode to access. We promise, good sir, we are no longer fake news, an enemy of the people. Let us prove it to you. We are fair and good, and we'll do this however you would like. Just come back. Just come back. I learned nothing from this town hall about Trump and his most ardent supporters. I haven't known since 2016. I learned a lot about CNN. God bless Jon Stewart, genius, hilarious, and a fighter for all good things. I love that man. So there you go. And yeah, that's it. I got shit to do now. So thank you again for listening. And as we always say, so long.